Hey folks, welcome back to another video. So this one I'm not very prepared for, but I have got the data that you want. So the prices for the BYD Seal were announced in the last hour. So there are 3 versions coming to Australia. The standard dynamic range, excuse me if I keep looking down a bit, I've got notes all over and I haven't really learnt what I've got to say here. So standard dynamic range, which is, so the standard dynamic range, which is the cheapest one, which is 49,888 in dollars, Australian dollars. That has a range of 460 kilometers. The premium extended range, which is 570 kilometers, and the performance all-wheel drive version, which is 520 kilometers. So the cheapest one has a 61.4 kilowatt hour battery. The other 2 after that have the 82 kilowatt hour battery. So of course the prices. The price of the first one, the cheapest one, is 49,888, 61.4 kilowatt hour battery, 4,500 kilometers range. Bargain. That's actually really cool. I love that they brought that one to the market so that people can get it and just get the slightly smaller battery if it suits them, because most people will be fine with it. Then the next one up, so this is now in the 82 kilowatt hour battery range, is $58,798 Australian dollars, and then you've got the BYD Seal Performance, which is $68,798, and that one is the fast one. So $68,800. These are all before on-road costs too, and then you get about 520 horsepower for the fast one, which is pretty cool, I think. BYD Seal with 520 horsepower. So the cheap one, which is the one that I would get, and I actually might possibly order it. Possibly. I don't know. Maybe. Because it's a lot of money. But it's $49,888, 150 kilowatt motor, so 210, 220 horsepower, something like that, which is faster than most things on the road today. And it's the cheapest one, and it has a proper range, 4,500 kilometers. So ordinarily when I drive on a long trip, like if I go to South Australia, like I'm about to, I would do 400 kilometers and stop. And that's, that would be fine. But it would be nicer to have the bigger range one. So they're all fast. All of them are quite fast cars. And they're good prices, aren't they? What do you think to the prices? There was a lot of speculation. Is it going to be cheaper than a Tesla Model 3? It seems like they've got that. The cheaper one is, I think that's like 13 grand cheaper than the Tesla Model 3. And then the other 2 obviously are actually competition. It's actual competition for Tesla. So that one, well, all of those are going to sell, aren't they? Clearly. They're all going to sell really well. So that's brilliant. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? This is pretty cool, isn't it? So the so even the cheapest one as well, if this is your cup of tea, the cheapest one, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7.5 seconds. That's all right. That's quite quick. And then the quick one can do it in 3.8 if you want to do that. If you want to get pulled over. Because we're in Australia, so you'll definitely get fined and pulled over. We're definitely on a camera somewhere, because it's Australia. They love cameras and keeping you safe, apparently. So they all charge with 150 kilowatt DC charging, all of them, which is brilliant. That's quite quick. Also, the warranty is 8 years on it for all the general parts. The battery is 6, which is really, really good. There are no ratings for ANCAP or Euro NCAP yet, but clearly it's going to be fine. And also, like I've said, even if it gets a 4-star, a 4-star today would have been 5-star 5 years ago. So long as it's a 4 or 5-star, it doesn't really matter. Like, for example, the BYD Seagull would get a 4-star, but it wouldn't get a 5-star because it doesn't have lane departure assist or something. So because of that now, which is something that commonly wasn't around 5-10 years ago, I guess, most of the time, and that wouldn't have been criteria for a 5-star Euro NCAP rating 5 or 10 years ago. It now is. So if you want to get a 5-star, you have to have that. So now, for me personally, I would lower my standards. If I'm looking for a safe car, I'd be happy with a 4-star not just a 5-star. I don't think a 5-star. I don't like that they've done that. But anyway, it'll be fine. They haven't rated it yet. But the Atto is fine. Dolphin, fine. Seagull doesn't have a rating. The Seal also doesn't have a rating. But I'm sure they will. Which is interesting, isn't it? So the Dolphin, they had to extend it by, I think, was it 20 centimetres? I think it was. A little bit on the front, a little bit on the back. And then they were putting it through its tests so that it could get its 5-star rating. So then they could start selling it. But they started selling it before it got a rating anyway, which makes me think, why wouldn't they just sell the BYD Seagull? Even one of my videos recently got lots of comments, people saying I would get it. It would make an old man very happy, and loads of people would buy one. If they brought it to Australia now, I would order one tonight. I really, really would. If it was $20,000, obviously, and I think that's great. All the standard specs, all the specs. I've got another video for the general specs of the Seal. I'll put that in the description below. But generally, awesome sound system, really nice big roof, big touch screen in the middle, really nice electric, chairs, nice premium feel, nice lumbar adjusting seats that adjust. You've got some nice colours. They've got fancy names for them: blue, grey, white, black, or another grey. So just standard sort of colours for a modern car. Well, I hope that's interesting for you. I think that's pretty cool. And right, go get your wallets and go buy one, because they're pretty cool. And it has a black interior, which is like a tick for me. That's the only reason I don't have the Atto 3, is because it has a blue interior. So nice. Thanks for watching, and thank you again to the patrons who drop me a little bit of money, a few dollars a month on Patreon, YouTube memberships. Thank you very much. Really does help me get through the month, so especially lately, because I'm really stressed. So, all right. Have a good afternoon, evening.